So, hello. Today I'm going to talk about a recent talk I had with my mama. So, many days ago, my ang brother ng tatay ko passed away. He was 64 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And yun. And that uncle lives just across the road. And doon siya natutulog sa parang ancestral house ng tatay ko. So, one morning, yung routine kasi ni mama is gumising ng umaga, pupunta doon sa garden niya and to water her plants. So one morning he passed by my uncle's room, and she told a story and told my tatay and told our neighbors na nag-on daw ang radio ni uncle, and impossible daw na ma-on yun kasi walang tao doon, and baka inon daw ni Uncle Tony. So I heard that from her, and for context, if you review my videos, I have I think 3 conversations already with my mama, and you can hear her na she is a deist, and she's even leaning towards, she's leaning towards atheism kasi she doesn't believe in the Bible, she doesn't believe in the stories in it, and she's critical na. I think she's a lot more critical when it comes to supernatural things, and we have a lot of conversations already na I expressed to them na hindi ako naniniwala sa mga multo and mga ghosts and all kasi wala naman tayong konkretong evidence for their existence. But here comes mama talking about the possibility and talking about na may nag-on daw sa TV, sa radyo, and si uncle daw yun. So if you're in my channel, you are already familiar with Occam's razor, no? Occam, Occam, razor, like the razor blade. So Occam's razor is a principle attributed to the 14th century English logician and Franciscan friar William of Occam. I'm not sure why the Occam's razor is OCC, pero etong name na William of Occam is, I think, is a place na Occam, Ockham. The principle states that when faced with multiple explanations for a phenomena, one should select the explanation that makes the fewest number of assumptions or hypotheses. What this means is, if you're faced with a lot of possible explanations to a single phenomena, ang pinaka-best pala daw na one should select the best explanation should have the fewest number of assumptions. So sinabi ko kay mama yun, okay, let's accept that that's a possibility, that there's really a ghost, si Uncle Tony na patay na, yung kaluluwa niya somehow sent a message na, hey, I'm still here, but in a form of a ghost or a spirit, and I turned the radio on to send that message. Let's just put that in a bucket of all possibilities, ma. I'm not saying that that's false. I told my mom, I'm not saying that that's false. I'm just saying that it's just one of the possibilities. Now, there are other possibilities as well, which are kind of boring and which are sad to accept. Napatay na si Uncle Tony, and yung radyo na nag-on is just something that radios do sometimes. Na siguro may nag-attempt na i-on yun, pero hindi nag-on kasi sira na. Pero a few days later or hours later, biglang nag-on kasi may mga wirings na nag-connect. It happens all the time. Or it could be na may tao na nag-on kasi yung bahay may other people that are living. Like I said, it's an ancestral house. So nandun din yung sister ko and yung cousin ko. And baka inon nila kasi sobra yung silence ng bahay and they want some kind of noise. Baka inon nila without my mom knowing. Lot of possibilities. There's even a possibility na baka guni-guni lang yun ni mama. Or other kinds of possibilities pa na I haven't really thought about na you may have experienced na ako wala. So I told my mom that, and turns out si mama pala pinagsabihan niya sa tatay ko, and si tatay ko naman sinabi din niya sa cousin niya na lalaki na is a believer. So again, my tatay, if you've watched my old videos, tatay is an atheist. Pero here comes my tatay din, falls into the same trap na baka may ghost talaga, no? And baka buhay pa baka may some realm out there. It could not be the heaven na sinabi ng Bible, but it could be something else na still accessible pa si brother. So even though si tatay medyo may pagka-reserve yung sa kanya kasi hindi siya fully invested in the idea, pero you can see na they can't explain stuff like that easily, like how I could. They are having a hard time explaining it and coming up with better solutions. And that's what I think is talagang naroot talaga sa atin ng religious kind of thinking. Hirap tayong gumawa ng better explanations on something as simple as a radio turning on. Kasi we've been exposed to ideas na they turn on sometimes because spirits can turn them on, or angels can send messages, or God can send messages to us. So we have that kind of thinking. I have that kind of thinking that I'm struggling to unlearn. Kasi I have learned na natural things all happen all the time, and if we don't have a better explanation, we come up with stories na outrageous. So back tayo sa Occam's razor. Sabi doon ng Occam's razor, let's just accept that that's a possibility, but ano yung implication if you choose the possibility na si uncle in a form of a spirit nag-on ng radyo to send a message. See how difficult that is in a perspective of a person who wants to know the truth, who only believes in true things. See how difficult that is to believe. You have to establish a theory of spirit. We don't have that. You have to establish, ang dami mong dapat trabahuin para gawing totoo yung sinabi mo. May theory of spirit ba? Do you have collective experience that thing did happen, or things like that happen all the time? Or do we have collective experience na ang mga tao ay may mga makulit lang yung utak and they tend to hallucinate or imagine things? Days later, turns out si tita ko, yung sister ng tatay ko, ang nag-turn ng radio on. Kasi for some reason, na-miss siguro niya si brother, and inon niya yung radyo ni brother. So yeah, it's sad, it's fucking sad to accept na yung tao na close sa'yo, family mo, forever nang hindi ka i-access, forever na wala na yung conversation na conversation nyo dati, forever na hindi ka na niya itatap, forever na wala na talaga siya. Hindi na siya magsasend ng message. That person is gone already. It's so fucking sad. And that is why we sometimes make stories up. And that is why sometimes even my critical mom now and my critical dad now sometimes fall into these kinds of traps. Kasi we have human emotions. We feel. And we can't accept that they're gone. So, they are turning the radio on. They are now in a form of a spirit. In reality is, yun. We do stuff all the time. We turn radios off. Radios turn on. Not randomly, but radios turn on because they were on in the first place. Hindi lang siya nag-on prior kasi sira na. What else? May fluctuation sa kuryente. It could be, you could have heard a radio that you thought came from that room, but it came from other place pala because of ambience and acoustics. Lot of explanations. We don't resort to these kinds of explanations. We don't pick the explanations that are we don't pick the explanations that are likely to happen because they're boring and they're natural, and it's boring. It's a boring kind of, it doesn't spark any kind of mystery, and we don't like that. That's why we choose something like a spirit turning on a radio. So I hope you learned something today about Occam's razor, and I hope you apply that in your daily life, because we're not critical all the time. We get vulnerable, especially when we are emotionally up or emotionally down, doesn't matter. Our critical thinking skills get affected. So hold your ground. Accept that those kinds of things can be possible. Do not be like a person na nakasirado na yung utak mo for natural explanations. Still accept them, but at the end of the day, you need to weigh things out. Ano yung alam ko na always na nangyayari sa buhay ko or in nature, 'di ba? Do we already have established na may spirit? Can they turn radios on? Can they send messages to us? If wala, then move on to other explanations. What are the other explanations that are obvious? 'Di ba? Pick those. Even though you don't have evidence yet, pick those. And then, get more data. Kaya nga doon ko lang kinos yung conversation when my tita reported na I turned it on. End ang usapan. 'Di ba? But nung wala pang nag-confirm, of course, I wouldn't close the door. I'm just giving them options and how to choose the better option. I didn't dictate to them na, hey, ghosts aren't real, those are bullshit. Pick this option instead. No, instead I gave them the opportunity to choose for themselves by providing a better na logic, which is yung Occam's razor. And I hope na in the next na encounter ni Mama is mas better na siya to assess things. Kasi may mga friends siya na kinakausap niya on a daily basis. And I'm hopeful, and I wish na yung mama ko can spread those helpful na mga logical approaches to different kinds of problems to solve their own lives. Not solve. To siguro? To answer? To face certain kinds of phenomena. So yun. That's it. See you in the next video.